Right, so I put a little bit of poor man's marking blue, i.e. Sharpie, on the outside of the face here, and I've moved this is my chamfering tool, but it's going to work fine for what I want to do in the middle of the flywheel. I've moved it in exactly 500 thou on my hand wheel on the lathe, which is the way my lathe works. That's a 1/4 of an inch, that's 250 thou from this edge. So I'm going to put a marker line there. That's the line I'm going to come out from the middle to, and then I shall basically relieve that to give the relief in the middle of the flywheel. So let's get going. Too fast. There we go. So just come in a little bit and give us as a line. Right. I won't get right up to the line to start with. I shall do most of the cutting and then I'll finish it off. Well, I'm not going to bore you to death with hours and hours of that. I'll come back when I'm nearly done. Right, we're pretty much on the last cut now. I've gone to a depth of 100,000th, which I think is nice enough. It looks you know, it's going to give a reasonable bit of definition to the flywheel, and I'll show you how I measured that in a minute. Let's just take this final cut. Get in a bit closer to look at this so I can get it to the line nicely. And I think we're about there. Yes, it's come out all right. I'm well pleased with that. Well, there's a little tiny scratch. I might just, yes, I'm gonna just lightly scratch that because there's a very slight scratch on that surface. So that's very nice indeed. I think that'll do for that face. And now I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. I don't really think you need to see that. Also, I'll need to turn the other side down a little bit because it's too thick at the moment. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much our flywheel. That's what I'll say. The other side will be exactly the same. Oh, you may have noticed, of course, that I've swapped tools again. There wasn't quite enough clearance on my chamfer tool to get in on this edge, so I've had to go back to the standard cutting tool. But yeah, it's all right. Turned out okay. Yeah, so there, to get the depth of the cut I've just made, that's my ultra high-tech X-axis DRO that I have on my lathe. It's a 9 pounds digital caliper from Banggood, but it does the trick nicely, and you can get nice, accurate depths of cut using this, and that's what I used to get the 100 thou depth on that last cut. There you go. Well, the flywheel is done. It turned out okay. Both sides machined. Still got to clean up this edge here. But we've made stuff up number one already, and that is, I don't know what the hell possessed me. Well, I've drilled the bloody hole in the middle of it, too big. So this, which should be an interference fit, which is the axle, actually just goes all the way through. So there's several ways that I can fix this. I certainly don't have any more aluminium, so I can't make another flywheel, which is one option. I could make an oversized shaft, which is another option, but I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill out that, put a plug of aluminium in there like that, and then re-drill it. And this time, hopefully, I will actually use the right size drill bit rather than the 1/4 inch drill bit, which I used the first time. And I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I obviously wasn't thinking at all when I did this, but if you want to learn about drill bits, and yeah, I thoroughly recommend you go and watch my friend Rob's videos on his channel, as a noob, because Rob's done a whole load of videos on all about drill bits and the fact that they are generally undersized, but they drill holes oversized, blah blah blah. So it was well worth a watch, and I watched all of them and completely ignored everything that I learned from watching those videos and just picked the wrong bloody drill. So yeah, so I need to drill this out, so that's a good press fit in there, and then I'll machine it down and then we'll re-drill it. But I'm going to do that off camera because that's not really part of the build. And then we'll come back to the next machining job will be, the next proper machining job will be to put a flat. There's a small flat on the drawing. This asks for a small flat to go on one end, and this is where the grub screw on the crank engages with the shaft, and we'll do that on the Sher line, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that, and I'll actually do that one on camera. But fixing this bodge, I'll do that off camera.